I say again, the Oval Office is all clear.
Bob, did you hear that the president is abandoning health care reform for the rest of this year?
Yeah, does the First Lady know this yet?
No. She's in Pennsylvania campaigning for Marjorie Margolis Medzvinsky.
Ah, that's good news. Remember the last time he crossed her on health care?
Look, let me get this straight. You told a room full of governors that mandates weren't important?
Well, not exactly, honey. What I meant was... Now, be careful, honey.
And then you said you settled for 95% coverage.
Well, you see, Social Security only, hey, Al Gore gave me that lamp. Watch it.
The next time you make a health care speech, clear it with me first, or else I'll break everything left in this house.
Looks like it's time to hide the blunt objects again.
I'll get the plates and lamps.
I'll get the big peanut butter jar.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rush Limbaugh.
Nice to have you with us. Very nice. Great crowd again tonight. Great audience. And please be seated, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin the program. We have another anniversary couple with us tonight. This is beginning to be a regular occurrence on this program. Wheeling, West Virginia, came here today. Got here, in fact, a day in advance to make sure they wouldn't miss the program, right? Great. Nice. Oh, now she quiets down. Now she... It's what cameras do to you, know? Your camera, they turn a camera on you and you just kind of, oh, gee, the red light's on. I guess it's my turn. Anyway, we're so happy you're with us. A lot of things to do tonight, as always. We try to cram as much into our little show here as we can. Let's get started. So I got to show you something that was in the New York newspapers today. New York Newsday, particularly. Look at this. Let me just read that along with you. Gregory White, age 13, in June, caught with marijuana. July, caught with crack. August, caught with a loaded gun. August, linked to attempted murder. And this week, murdered. Now, what you can't see is the headline or the subhead there at the bottom underneath the word murdered, so we'll highlight that for you. Take a look at this. Mom blames city for loss of child through the cracks. And if you read the story, you discover that the mother of this young man is upset. It's the city's fault that he was murdered. It was the city's fault that they didn't find something for him to do productively. It's the city's fault that they didn't arrest him, put him in jail, and give him therapy. He's caught with marijuana, caught with crack, caught with a loaded gun, and he's linked to an attempted murder. Now, nowhere does this woman claim any responsibility as a parent for the way this kid turned out. And while you may say, well, that's an easy thing to say, I'll tell you what it means, and this is what's frightening. This is obviously a woman who was raised herself, who grew up thinking that all things good come from the state, or all things good come from government. All things bad are the result of government not doing its job. This is exactly what you get when you create, and we've done this, we have created a dependency class. We have taken an entire class of our population, and we have convinced them that they have no hope relying on themselves, that they have no self-reliance that will pay off for them. You just totally turn over your life to government. And it may look like this woman's irresponsible. It may also be the case that she has no choice, given the people she's voted for, the things they've promised her, the things that they have told her government means. It's really sad. I mean, she never thinks to keep the kid home at night. She never thinks to be upset that he's using crack, marijuana, running around with a loaded gun. Never thinks that she as a parent has some control with discipline and trying to teach right and wrong. No, the city is supposed to do that. The state's supposed to do that. And that's what's noteworthy to me about the story. And there's a whole bunch of people out there like that, and it's going to be a challenge to overcome all this. Along the same lines, in a strange kind of way, all charges against Michael Jackson for child molestation have been dropped. We want to go back and revisit some things here. Michael Jackson, in December the 22nd of 1993, when he went on television to proclaim his innocence. Here's how that looked.
I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false.
You know, I look at the picture of Michael Jackson there, Dick, and I'm waiting. I just can't wait to see if he and Lisa Marie Presley actually have a baby. I want to see if the baby looks like Michael used to. Well, we'll learn some things there. Well, let's look at some newspaper headlines that have been prominent since this case of child molestation came up. Cops raid Michael Jackson's homes. Peter Pan or pervert, pop star in sex probe. For the whole year since this thing came up, the American people have assumed Michael Jackson's guilty because the press has assumed he's guilty. Remember all the people who were talking? We had chauffeurs, we had bodyguards, we had cooks who ostensibly worked for him saying, oh, yes, I saw him in compromising situations. Oh, yes, he loved to sleep with little boys. Oh, yeah. And we had this young accuser and his dentist father, and everybody was saying, kids don't lie. You know, that's one of the things I hear liberals say all the time. Psychologists and everything, kids don't lie. They don't make it up. They don't know enough to lie. They're too innocent and young. Well, here's Gil Garcetti, district attorney in Los Angeles. Watch.
Since August 1993, the Los Angeles Police Department, the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department, the Santa Barbara District Attorney's Office, and the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office have been investigating allegations of child abuse involving singer Michael Jackson. That investigation is now complete.
Gulp.
We have concluded that because the young boy who was the catalyst for this investigation has recently informed us that he does not wish to participate in any criminal proceeding where he is named as a victim, that we must decline prosecution involving Mr. Jackson.
So they got no evidence. There is no corroborating evidence. They impaneled a grand jury in Santa Barbara. Now, a grand jury can indict this remote control unit if it wants to. You don't need hardly anything to get an indictment. You can indict a ham sandwich, for crying out loud. There was no evidence. All the press reports, though, were that there were countless people who saw and witnessed and could testify that Michael Jackson had committed this dastardly deed. But they have no evidence. They can't proceed. This kid, guess what? This kid was given sodium amytal. I think it's what it's called. It's a truth serum. It's like pentothal, except they call it a truth serum, but it's also been used while people are under its spell to plant false images in their heads. And when they come off the drug, they think that what they thought then actually happened. So now people are speculating that Michael Jackson was set up, that the dentist was involved, used the kid as a tool. But how many of you have been thinking Michael Jackson was guilty for the whole year simply because the press had all these people saying all these things? It's an accusation for which there's no defense. The minute the accusation's leveled, you're guilty. Man, if you have sexually harassed just the allegation, you're guilty. If you've molested a child, forget the evidence. Kids don't lie, you're guilty. And there's a great lesson here, folks, about not believing everything. This is a sensation-oriented, lazy press that cared more about the highlights and the pizzazz of the story itself rather than the serious contents of the story. It's a great thing to keep in mind also as you watch other fabulous court cases and trials come to, including O.J. Simpson. Keep in mind that until a trial and until somebody has evidence, the nature of the evidence is what matters. Not the seriousness of the allegation. It's the nature of the evidence. Until somebody has some, you shouldn't believe a darn thing because you don't know. And neither did the press. Always a wise lesson to illustrate the press doesn't know what it's talking about. Anytime we can illustrate that, because it's most of the time, we'll do it. When we come back, Haiti, some things that have gone on there that you may not have seen in the past couple of hours or days, and we'll show it to you when we get back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Rush Limbaugh, the television show. Roll the videotape. John, let's go to Haiti and let's take a look at some of the violence. Keep in mind, that's a Haitian police officer now, and here's some Haitian citizens, and just take a look at What soon will happen, oh, there's the first little shove that had some force behind it. You will see some beating and some violence. This is all stuff, of course, wasn't supposed to happen. Cedrus promised us it wouldn't happen. He told us that. We accepted it. We've got 7,500 troops down there. They're standing around watching all this because their orders are not to do anything about it. Here's a woman being chased and being beaten. This is, look at this. Look at this. Here's another situation, and it's going to get a little worse here in Justice. There is a dead body. A guy, and U.S. troops, that's a Haitian police officer. U.S. troops just sat around and watched this because that's what their orders are. This, of course, was not supposed to happen. Our presence was supposed to bring peace, tranquility, democracy, and all that. I have been inundated on my radio program the past couple of days with what I think are agitator-type phone calls from people who are saying that my expressions of doubt about our policy down there and my expressions of disagreement with the use of the United States military in Haiti, which I touched on last night on this television show, are undermining the troops. Because the troops hear my show. The troops have Armed Forces Radio. The troops they have families that'll hear my program, that'll hear me. And some guy today called me Tokyo Rush. That I am down, I am doing things that will destroy the morale of the troops. Well, we got hold of some videotape. We'd like to thank ABC, and was it CBS for this, or NBC, was it? ABC and CBS. They actually talked to some soldiers, talked to some troops on the ground. Well, one of this bits of footage, some of this is from Nightline, the other is from a CBS show. And if you think that I am undermining the troops by simply expressing profound disagreement with how they're being used, here's what they think about it.
2 days ago, we thought we were coming down here to eradicate the police force and the army. Eradicate the people who've been oppressing the people, I guess. It's changed.
A man just died over there. For what? Where? Where did this get man die? Right about across from our gate.
Hey, they're gassing people down the street.
Tear gas? They deployed tear gas all over the streets. Why? There's no riot.
We hate to see it happen, but there's nothing we can do about it at the time.
It wasn't easy to watch people do that to other people. Like I said, I can't do anything about it.
I like to protect them as much as I could, but we're under orders. We can't do nothing. All we can do is sit here and watch.
We're not to interfere with anything that happens any millimeter beyond the edge of this damn wall. We've brought it up with our chain of command as far as our lieutenants, and there's not much they can do, but it's filtering down from the top.
Sounds to me like our troops are saying, what the hell are we here for? Sounds to me like our troops are not exactly up to speed with whatever the mission is. And it sounds like they're saying, God, we're supposed to sit here and watch this? So Leon Panetta, after seeing this video, was asked, what are you going to do to stop this? We got 7,500 people on the ground and more on the way. What are we going to do to stop this? And here's what Panetta said.
Obviously, you continue to review the situation. They have rules of engagement. The troops know what those rules of engagement are. At this point, I think they're proceeding with those rules of engagement. They're going to increase the patrols. They're going to make very clear to General Cedrus that we can't see the kind of repetition of the situation that we saw yesterday.
We're going to tell Cedrus, we're not going to stand for this. What does the mission say? What is the mission supposed to? Isn't our arrival there supposed to be some kind of a threat? Isn't it supposed to provide some kind of intimidation? Now we got to send Jimmy Carter back down to Jimmy, give him the message again? This is embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely embarrassing because it highlights how our men and women in uniform are being misused. I had one call me and said, do you guys, are in any form of your training, in any aspect of it, are you trained how to teach people how to be police? The guy said, no, I don't know how to do that. I said, are you trained, do you train people how to, or are you trained to teach people how to break up civil unrest? No, the guy said, we're trained to kill. I mean, that's what our mission is, and their presence is obviously not providing enough intimidation. So all this has led to a new policy. And here is Secretary of Defense William Perry, alongside Father Aristide, at the Pentagon today, explaining the new policy. Don't fall asleep during this. Watch.
We have brought in large number, more than 1,000, I said, of military police, and they will have the specific function of overseeing and monitoring the functioning of the Haiti police force to ensure that they do not use unreasonable restraint in trying to deal with crowd control problems. We also described to him that we have now a quick reaction force assembled of combat forces and Bradley fighting vehicles are available to be called out in the event there's a general breakdown of order. And we also described the discussion that General Shelton had this morning with General Cedras, explaining to him the importance of maintaining restraint on the police and making arrangements for how our military police would be used to facilitate that proper functioning, to ensure that proper functioning of the police force.
Translation, we're going to send the MPs. We're going to send the military police. You know what's happening here, folks? Somalia creep. It's looking more and more every day, just the way Somalia happened. We'll be back after this. Don't go away. Oh, boy. You know, I'm sitting here thinking I can't get over the shots of the beating of the cops beating innocent civilians in Haiti. And I got thinking, you know what happens in the United States when the cops beat you? You end up getting $3.8 million and the cops go to jail. It'd be a nice policy to export down to Haiti. A little politics here. Democrats took some big hits on Tuesday. There were a lot of primary elections around. Mike Sinar, Oklahoma, lost. Tom Foley barely got a win. I want to show you the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. Here's David Wilhelm advising his Democrats how they should go about winning their elections in November.
I think we're a big help, and I think the key, I think if Republicans do continue to do what they're doing, which is try to make this some sort of national referendum on the president when the president is not on the ballot, and Democratic candidates run strong local campaigns in which they're talking about the issues that really matter to people in their districts, Democrats will win.
Yeah, see what he's saying there. Don't talk about Washington. Don't talk about Clinton. Talk about the nursing home you built. Talk about the water project you got built. Well, I'm telling you, Sinar, big Democrat, Oklahoma, 43 years old, sat next to Henry Waxman at the tobacco inquisitions. There he is. He loves Clinton, and he surprise loss. Tom Foley got 35% of the vote in his primary. He was down from 53% last year. Ted Kennedy is in trouble, running neck and neck in the polls. Oh, folks. They think they're in big trouble, and they may be. We'll be back right after this with more. Don't go away. Cedras, a murderer, a rapist, a thug, a torturer. Everybody else is saying, if it weren't for him, oh, who knows where we would be. He's an honorable man, this is Jimmy Carter. Listen to General John Shalikashvili, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, talk about the contributions of Lieutenant General Cedras to this entire operation.
For him to have been gone today, we most probably would have taken casualties. They certainly would have taken casualties.
Your time is up.
The fact that he has stayed for this very short interim period has prevented those casualties.
Your time is up.
And if we try not to create friction, but rather try to maintain that cooperative spirit, I think that's one of our better guarantees to keep casualties low.
Your time is up. Leave now, or we will force you from power.
Clearly, this administration is at variance with itself on the role of General Cedars. We'll keep you posted on all this. See you next time.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Now's your chance to make a statement about the Clinton administration. The Clinton Backwards Running Watch. All three hands run backwards. Call now, 1-800-50-WATCH.
Save up to 70% and more on your contact lenses. Have your prescription ready and call Vision Unlimited. 1-800-2-VISION.
Hot Pockets, filled with pepperoni pizza or ham and cheese in a crispy pocket.
What are you gonna pick? Hot Pockets.
Try Lean Pockets, too.
Crisp chewing tobacco with mint snuff. All mint to chew at grocery or convenience stores. Call 1-800-EAT-MINT.
If you'd like to order a video cassette of Rush's TV show for only $24.95, just call Video Archives at 1-800-FOR-VIDEO. For a transcript, send $5 to Burrell's, Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039. Or call 1-800-777-TEXT.